What's really good, my people? Welcome into No Ketchup Sports Talk via Chicago.
Yes,
Big Nick the Quick in the building.
I'm out here.
What's goody?
Man, fresh off the job. You know
Man,
what I'm saying?
you fresh out the little CEO
you know what I'm
dinner?
saying, man? Yeah, had to come out here real quick, man. Couldn't miss this.
Man, if y'all don't know, Big Nick the Quick do numbers, man.
Numbers
He
all
out there,
day.
he out there eating dinner with the CEO. You know what I'm
Trying to do
saying?
my thing, man, you know.
So that's what I like to hear, man.
Yes, sir.
We're live straight during the middle of an Eastern Conference Finals game.
Yep.
Game 4 of Toronto and the Bucks rocking right now. Toronto's up like 16.
Up 20.
Up 20 now.
104-84 as we speak.
So that's interesting off top.
Very.
So we're going to talk about the playoffs. Obviously, Golden State sweeps up Portland last night.
Easy.
We already know that's easy money.
Easy.
And then we're going to talk Cubs. My boy Javi's hurt. He didn't play tonight. They just blew a 1-run lead.
Bullpen
gave it
issues
up.
again?
Yeah, bullpen issues.
Man,
that will need to be.
those
They've
don't
been
go away.
solid though, but it's a hiccup here and there that's happening.
Yeah,
no doubt.
Definitely.
But Jake Arrieta and Yu Darvish were on the mound yesterday in Wrigley. Arrieta was back in Wrigley, and he got a very, very warm reception.
Which I thought, yeah.
So I want to talk about that, and then we're gonna go into some different things about players leaving Chicago.
We talk about Yu Darvish's fence. I finally went and saw the fence the other day.
Yes, we'll talk about all that.
I went and saw it like 2 days ago. I had to see it.
Yeah, we can talk about all that. So
he won't be here though.
But what else is good, bro? Everything is rocking.
Not too much, man. Yeah, waiting for summer like everybody else.
Bro, tomorrow
I know you don't like to talk
nice.
the weather,
yeah,
but
bro,
you know,
why y'all do this, man? Why does everybody do this?
Because it's May 21st and it's 45 degrees and raining.
I don't understand, bro. It's like this every year.
I don't understand. No, it's not. It gets like 2 weeks more.
Shit.
Every year it's like 2 weeks. We used to be like, oh man, it's like middle of April. It's still cold. Dude, it's almost June.
Dog, the shit
Don't talk to me
rock.
about tomorrow being 80
rock
degrees
until the second
when
week
next
of June.
week that shit'll be cold as hell again. There's 2 seasons.
How much time you want to waste on this?
2 seasons.
Let me know.
2 seasons. Summer and winter.
I know this shit is old news now, but I'm still hot on this Game of Thrones shit.
Oh man.
Speaking of wasting
alerts,
time, nah,
we gotta
fuck
get
that.
spoiler
If
alerts.
you ain't caught up, I'm not gonna tell the ending.
Yeah.
But bro, they mailed that shit in, bro.
Yeah, it seems like they rushed it. That's what everybody's saying. I'm not as outraged as people are like really upset about it, signing petitions to get them to rewrite the last season and things like that. I'm not at that level, but I feel like one of the cool things was about the show was how many different things they had going on and how in depth they would go into to just random things. And it seems like this last couple seasons they just like, no, this is the storyline. We gotta do all this. Forget all these people. Forget this happening over here. Like, so if you read a lot of the shit that's come out since the last episode, it's all like, hey, what happened to this person? What happened to that person? And it's like they never really,
they didn't
were able
do
to do
shit,
that.
bro.
Nothing. Yeah,
they didn't do anything.
Yeah. I think the ending was always going to be the ending as far as like what happened and who.
No, I don't even think so, bro.
I think that was always.
They should have let my man finish the books, bro. For that.
Yeah.
I'm not with this shit at all.
Oh, they wanted to cash in. He said he's taking his sweet ass time.
Dog,
didn't they have to wait last time for him to finish the book and it took some time?
Yeah, then let him do what he got to do, though.
So if he's like, I'm not writing this book for 10 years, then Cersei's going to be like 50.
But
it doesn't work that way.
Arya's like 35.
Yeah, exactly, man. You got to strike while the iron's hot.
She out there running around. She's 35
exactly.
now?
Yeah, right? So, I mean, it's not going to work that way.
Then force his hand or do something. Bro, that was the worst season finale final season of anything I've ever seen, bro. That shit was garbage. It was pure garbage. They didn't take any time on it. They completely mailed in the whole shit. It was garbage, bro. I couldn't believe it.
You weren't happy.
They rushed the whole thing. Yeah, it was trash, bro. But I ain't even gonna speak on it no more.
It is what it is, man. Great show. Good run.
That shit went from being the best show of all time to like it was good.
So you're on the sign the petition type situation. Huh?
I mean, dog, I would watch a redo. That shit was ass, bro.
Yeah.
100% garbage.
I mean, to me, it just kind of was what it was.
So yeah, we can move on.
Yeah.
I finally watched the D Rose documentary.
Yeah, I still haven't watched. How did you watch it? What device were you able to watch it on?
Go to watchstadium.com/poo.
Yeah, I don't want to watch. I want to watch it on my TV.
You got a Chrome cast it.
Yeah,
You don't have that?
I don't know where the Chromecast joint is right now.
Okay, well then you got.
They need to put the app on the Comcast. Like
you gotta
else.
watch it on. You gotta watch it on your computer, bro. It's a must watch.
Yeah, I heard.
It was really, really good.
Yeah. I don't know if I'm ready for that, man.
It was a lot, bro.
That's what I'm
Honestly,
saying. Like that's why I haven't been like. I want to watch it, but I know I got to be like in the right mental to watch that because I think it's gonna hit me a little too hard. Like I love Derrick Rose.
No, then you're gonna be like,
so
wow,
it might be
bro.
too much for me. You know what I'm saying?
It was a lot. This shit might bring you to tears. Bro.
Yeah, it could.
Deadass.
It might.
For real.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you the last movie that brought me to tears. I couldn't even think about it. Maybe I think it was Babe when
Shout
I was a kid.
out my guy Sid on the chat. Yeah, bro, the D Rose was crazy, man. It was too much, bro. It was too much, dog. It was very, very good.
Yeah, I'm not ready for that yet.
But on the high note, he's in a very good place. It seems like now, like we knew that. So
he's Derrick. What did Jabari say? Derrick's a legend. He's good. He's fine.
It's like one of the biggest what if stories in sports history. I think it's up there.
It's
bro.
a what if, but it's also like I think we get with Derrick Rose. It's so much what if because it could have gone on for so much longer, and if he hadn't gotten hurt, like I get it. But also at the same time, like that 3 to 4 year run was magical. The hype, the build up, the fact that like, yeah, it didn't result in an NBA championship, but like he was the MVP.
Yeah, but at the height of our powers, that's when it happened in the playoffs. Yeah. Like it's just a crazy what if.
Sports.
And you know what was really interesting was in the doc, they talked about the different viewpoints of like people on the west side in Inglewood and then people or west side and then the south side in Inglewood, people growing up like as his homie versus the people like the expectations of like regular Bulls fans. And I'm not from the south side. My lens is more like the Bulls fan first, right?
Yeah.
And
his homie's like, nah, he's good.
Yo, they talk like essentially the angle from like Inglewood and the South Side was like, I just want him to get back and play ball. Like he's already so high.
Yeah, he's at just a different level.
If he wins a championship, great. If not, it doesn't matter. This is Derrick Rose we're talking about. So that was really interesting to hear it from that side. I
mean, he's obviously he's rich. Very, you know what I mean? He's still getting big money from Adidas. I think I read something he's still getting like $11 to $13 million from Adidas.
Oh, yeah.
Based on some shit per year. He's good, man. He did what he needed to do. He took care of his family, man. He's accomplished a lot. Again, he got hurt.
Yeah,
he got hurt.
That was where, that kind of brought me down to earth a little bit. Like, this was a lot of stuff going on.
It's a lot.
And he was handling it all.
Right.
And then his knee just blew out.
Yeah.
And then the stuff after that, there's a lot of discussion you can have in between. But I think the core that I took away from it was like, that different lens I got to see from people on the South Side talking about like the impact and what we think of him. It wasn't even about like getting W's.
Jabari said it. Derrick's a legend. That's why Jabari
like,
shut that down immediately.
He did what he needed to do. Yeah. So it was really
That's why Jabari literally shut that. He's like, "What are you talking about? Like, I don't like how you asked that question. He's a legend. Like, what do you mean? There weren't any lows.
Exactly.
He's like, there's no lows. You don't know lows yet, bro. Like,
and he's in the doc and he talks about that. So check that out.
Yeah, for sure. I gotta watch it.
Let's switch over to the Western Conference Finals.
Mm-hmm. Easy.
Let's talk this, then we'll cruise into the Eastern Conference Finals because that'll be over.
Yeah.
And we'll go from there. Was it as easy as it looked, or did Portland kind of collapse a little bit?
Well, Portland.
I was watching Get Up, and I hadn't even heard this stat till I heard Greenberg say it. He was like, Portland was leading. The score
3 out of 4 games, right?
No, but leading, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But they led more minutes than Golden State did for the overall 4 games.
Yeah,
that's a crazy stat.
They couldn't finish.
They couldn't
be able to finish. Golden State's the better team. I mean, that's fine. You might get after them for 3 quarters, and then Steph does what he does in the fourth. Clay does what he does in the fourth. Draymond goes into full-on beast mode. I mean, this team knows how to win. That's the difference. They know how to win games. They know how to close out a game. They don't really ever believe they're out of it. You know what I mean? So they're not even playing catch-up. It's just, all right, now it's the fourth quarter.
They were down 17. It's like they don't blink.
They get bored.
They
Even
don't
the
blink.
playoffs is just like, whatever. We'll turn it on. We know we can beat this team. They knew they could beat Portland. Look, Portland, great story, everything like that, but Golden State is a far superior team than the Portland Trailblazers, with or without KD. I mean, go man to man. Would you rather have Steph or Dame? You'd rather have Steph. Would you rather have Clay or CJ? You'd rather have Clay.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Would you rather have
CJ an animal? That's my
Draymond or, shout out my man, the legend Evan Turner? You'd rather have Draymond, whoever they're playing at the 4 at that point in time. It doesn't matter if they would have had Nurkic or not. I mean, Golden State's just a better team at the top. And again, man, I'm happy for Dame.
There's no doubt
CJ,
about
but
that.
It's just so much better at the top.
There's no doubt about that. Golden State's better with or without Durant.
Yeah.
I was disappointed they couldn't get a ball game.
I never at
I needed them to get a ball game.
I never at any point thought they could get a ball game. Unfortunately, I took them last night at 2.5. But
So apparently,
but yeah. So they didn't get the game, and I took under 219. So it was just a bad all around.
How in the same sentence can you say I never thought they could win a ball game, but going into the ball game you had them minus?
No, I mean I'm at Golden State. I'm at Golden State.
Okay.
The Golden State minus 2.5. I'm sorry, I should have reframed that.
Yeah. Okay, word.
Yeah.
You didn't think they could win?
No.
At any point, like in game 1, you weren't like, "Wow, this is impressive." They came out doing their thing.
I forget who I was talking to. Someone said something before the series started, and I was like, "This is going to be a sweep. They don't have a chance."
There's no
Zero
way I
chance.
saw it being a sweep, bro. Especially
Zero chance.
maybe because they were coming off 7, they were going to be a little tired. But after I saw game 1, I was like, "All right, they're going to compete with these dudes."
Not after I saw Golden State handle Houston. Handled them.
Closed them out.
That was not a competitive 6-game series.
Closed them out.
Closed them out big. No problem. No sweat. This is great. Easy.
Steph went nuts.
Easy. At that point, I was like, Golden State.
I wish I had that on wax. I can guarantee you if I asked you before the series, you wouldn't have said Golden State in 4, bro. I'm not trying to hear that shit.
Well, no, I'm not like to the point where I'm like, yeah, I'm going to put my money on Golden State in 4, but I was relatively, I thought it was a sweep, bro.
Prediction, you'd have been like, Golden State in 6, 5.
I would have never said 6.
You never would have said 4
Not
either.
in chance. I probably, 5 max, 4. Yeah, I was thinking 4 the whole time. That was never going to be competitive to me. Again, Portland's good. Golden State, with or without KD, is great and playoff ready.
Okay, speaking with or without KD, more impressed with what Steph did or what Draymond was doing?
Draymond, because I think that Draymond. And it's been shown since KD got there, he's kind of not been like that alpha Draymond that like we see the it plays hard always, right? But he just wasn't the same player. It looked like, oh, is this like the end of Draymond? Is this kind of like the downside of Draymond? This series, I mean, he's just back being an animal. So I'm probably more impressed with him because I hadn't seen as much. I don't care how many bad games in a row Steph Curry has. I don't care how bad he was shooting for most of these playoffs. It does not matter to me. I've seen it enough times. You know the deal. Eventually he's going to start hitting them, and he's going to start hitting more, and he's going to start hitting ridiculous shit, and that's Steph Curry. From Draymond, though, I felt like he had kind of changed as a player. Or we didn't talk about him the same way we had been talking about him.
Yeah, well, I think that's obviously, and you've seen it in this series, that's a direct correlation with Kevin Durant.
Yeah.
There's just not enough basketballs.
Yeah.
Draymond is a point guard.
Yeah.
Draymond's a point guard.
Yeah, he needs to be running the offense.
Like it or not, that's what he is. Draymond is a point guard.
Point forward.
And if you let him bring it up, he's point forward.
That's where he plays the best, yeah.
That's where he plays the best, and there's just not enough balls, so he hasn't been able to do that. As soon as KD steps out, he jumps right back into old form.
And that's nothing against KD because KD is KD, and if you be foolish to not give KD the ball.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
That's not a good strategy of how to use Kevin Durant. But yeah, you're right. It makes Draymond kind of have to try to fit in. And then also, it's not like KD's an alpha personality in the sense that, like, he's a very vocal guy, but he's Kevin Durant, right? Like, he casts a huge shadow, and Draymond cannot necessarily be as Draymond, I think, when Kevin Durant is in the equation like that, because he's like, yo, fuck out of here with that. You know what I mean? Like, I don't got time. I'm Kevin Durant. You've heard him say, I'm Kevin Durant. You know what I mean? Whereas Steph, Steph's a superstar, 2-time MVP, but he is not wired that same way like KD is. You know what I mean? As far as being that type of dude. He's fine with Draymond being Draymond. KD's not trying to hear it. There's an interesting relationship. I think once KD leaves this summer, I think, and the things start to come out about the KD Draymond relationship, I think there's a lot more going on than, what we've been told. That Golden State media, whoever, they don't leak a lot of shit. So, I mean, props to them. If it was the Bulls, we'd know all about it.
I'm more impressed with Steph, and here's why.
Uh-huh.
I love Draymond, what he did. Draymond is a fucking killer, bro. Plain and simple. That 3 he hit at the end of the game, looked at the bench. He's just a clutch player, makes great decisions, plays hard. He's a killer, and I do not like dude.
No.
I hate dude.
He's corny.
He's corny. He's dirty. All that. Great basketball player. I'm more impressed with Steph because he was just relentless, bro. Threes, coming off of screens, passing the ball. Both him and Draymond had a triple-double. That's the first time in playoff history, I think.
Yeah, that was crazy.
He did whatever he had to do, and it was coming off of pressure that he wasn't performing in the playoffs. This last stretch of games, like 7 games or something, from Steph have been out of control since he went crazy against Houston in the second half.
Yeah.
He's been on fire. He's shooting like 50% from 3, something ridiculous. I knew Portland was in trouble. Do you remember this sequence last night? They were up 12.
Yeah.
Leonard hit this 3.
Shout out Myers Leonard.
Yeah.
He showed out.
He went nuts.
He didn't quit.
He went nuts.
There was 0 quit in Myers Leonard in the series.
Yeah, it was his 5th 3 of the half, and they were up 12.
Yeah.
I think it was 23 seconds left. Maybe 33. One of the two. He hits a 3. They're up 12. Motor Center's going crazy. It's lit in there. They're about to go into half. At the very worst, up 9. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Steph comes right down. Not even 3 seconds come off the clock. He hits a 27-footer all net.
Yeah.
Very next possession, I think Portland turns it over. They kick it up to Steph. He gets the clear path foul. It wasn't an and one or anything, but they call a clear path on Dame. He hits 2 free throws. This is right before the half. Then they get the ball back because it's a clear path, and he hits another 3. They go into the locker room up 4.
Right.
It was just like, what are these dudes supposed to do? They showed a lot of heart. Myers Leonard showed a ton of heart. He played his ass off.
Yeah, that's all they could do.
Dame started hitting shots.
Yeah.
And they just couldn't do anything.
They don't have enough.
I was just very impressed with Steph and how he was letting that joint fly and just fearless, relentless, doesn't care.
I'm surprised that, I get it. It's crazy, but, I just expect it from him, man. I feel like I've watched enough Steph Curry basketball for it's hard for me to be like, I was impressed. Almost like, wow. You know what I mean? Even, it doesn't matter, again, how bad he was playing, how many shots he was missing, how bad he started off this playoffs. Once he locks in, and it's a wrap. And I think, again, in that second half of that Houston game, in Game 6, he's locked in, and that was that.
Yeah.
That's it.
I mean,
it's a wrap. It's over with. You know what I mean? So, he's Steph Curry, man. He's a 2-time MVP.
I want to talk a little bit about Portland before we move on to KD and then move on to the Eastern Conference Finals. But does that sweep kill everything Portland kind of built up? The momentum, finally getting to the Western Conference Finals? Or is it going to be seen as great year from Dame and CJ? They finally made some headway in the playoffs, won 2 series, got to the Western Conference Finals, and just bumped into a juggernaut.
You just said it. Finally got to the Western Conference Finals. If I'm them, that's great momentum. I think the thing for them wasn't, hey, can they finally break through and get to the NBA Finals? It was no. Can they win a couple?
That was the ceiling for them.
Yeah. It was, can they win a couple playoff series? Or is this team going to be a good regular season? Remember last year? I mean, they were 3rd in the West and got swept by the Pelicans. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like, we wanted to see if they could win a couple series. Are they a good team? Are they a legit contender when this Golden State thing goes away or whatever it is? I mean, are they a good team out West or just a team that's going to get knocked out?
Is that what everybody's doing? They just waiting for something
pretty
to happen?
Pretty much. Yeah, you just got to wait. What are you going to do if you're out West? You know what I mean? Houston literally assembled for 2 straight years the perfect team to beat this team, and they cannot do it. Can't do it. Pulled off every move that you could possibly imagine, got every shooter you could imagine all that, and had James Harden on full unlock mode, and you still can't do it. So, yeah. But I think for Portland, it was important to win 2 playoff series. It was important to get that far. Beating Denver was huge. You know, Denver was the number 2 seed. So, I mean, all that was big, you know. Yeah. So, yeah, I think if you're Portland and you're hanging your head like, oh, we're failures, like that's not really the way to look at it. Of course you want to win. Of course you want to win at least one game. Yeah. But, look, you got swept by a team that's going to the NBA Finals for the 5th straight time. What are you going to do? I mean, that's the team that you got swept by.
I was clowning on Twitter last night. I was like, what do you think Golden State does with their Western Conference championship gear?
Throw it away.
Like, legit, they have to throw it in the garbage.
Give it to a kid.
Yeah, I mean, they should go throw that shit in the stands. Like,
yeah, give it to a kid.
Go do something with it. There's no way they keep it.
Yeah, they don't need that.
We won the West, I think that shit said.
Yeah, who cares? Whatever. Yeah. They wore it that night for some pictures, and
that's it.
Steph probably gave it to Seth. Here, hold that. Hold that, fam.
Yo, Seth, here you go, man. I got something for you.
You can wear some gold, too. Yeah.
I'm going to leave at the parents' care for you. I got you. I'm going to leave you. We won the West shirt.
Speaking of parents.
Yo.
Steph
mom is bad, bro.
Bad, bro.
Bad.
Badder
than Steph's girl.
Bad.
Like, bad.
Way bad.
My girl said the same thing. She was like, Steph's mom is, they call her Curry.
She's
mom
like
is kind of lit.
Shout out Dell.
Yeah,
Shooters stay shooting. Shout out Dell.
Dell's still getting back.
Still gets a triple-double, no assist.
Still getting baskets.
Yeah, no, yeah. Shout out Steph. Shout out Steph, mom. You know that's his brother-in-law. That whole series was crazy. His brother-in-law is on the Warriors too. His sister is married to Damian Lee on the Warriors. He's like the 13th man on the Warriors.
Oh, I didn't know that.
His sister is married to her, so Steph's brother-in-law is on the Warriors.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what's up.
You know what that was? Hey, Bob, my sister's husband needs a job.
Hey, yo,
like, gotcha.
For real.
So y'all remember when I was making $11 million a year? Yeah.
Make that call.
Yeah, make that call. When I was underpaid all them years, I'm gonna need some help. Handle that. That's league minimum will work.
I'm calling in a favor.
Thank you.
Hey, okay, so let's talk about this KD because this is also a talking point that people have been on. Yo, really quick, Eastern Conference Finals final of Game 4, 2-2 now. Raptors won by 18, 120-102.
What did Kawhi have?
We'll get into it right after we finish this up. Ridiculous. Yeah, I'll bring up the box score. We go right into it. So there's a narrative out there in the streets about the KD. Well, there's one narrative as in Steph's only lost one game when KD's not on the roster, all that stuff, right? So thoughts on that narrative is this is the best shit. This is the first. Are the Warriors better without KD? But then I got a real question kind of to piggyback that I think could be interesting. But obviously Golden State's not better with KD not playing. They're just
zero.
They're just it's just not there at all. Is that just to get people to have a conversation?
Yes.
Is it just to fill a segment?
Yeah,
is
man. Like I've been watching this isn't new, but like you watch some of these shows and it's just like, man.
What are y'all talking about?
Who comes up with this? Like, shout out to your producer because these topics are off the chain. But it's just like, in no universe, I get it. The Warriors are playing very well right now without Kevin Durant. Like, I get it, right? Kevin Durant is, depending on the day or who you ask, the second or third best player in the NBA, right?
Yeah.
Offensively might be the most talented player in the NBA, right? Can literally do anything on a basketball court. Yeah. There's not a hole in his game. It's not like, I wish KD was a better blank. There is not that. He's a great shooter, he's a great ball handler, great playmaker, great defender, all that, great rebounder, whatever. So in no universe is KD not necessary to what you're doing, or are you a better team without KD? When they absolutely need a bucket, like a bucket, no matter how you get it, he gets that for them.
This is the thing. A bucket where you dump it down, and we're not talking about no screens.
Go get a bucket.
No, none of that.
Here.
I don't need Draymond to make a really good bounce pass off a double screen from Clay and Bogut to get Steph a three. Not that he needs all that help, but He's doing a lot of running around, motion offense, coming off of screens and
Steph
getting shots.
Yeah, same with Clay.
Yeah, right.
Clay doesn't dribble.
Right.
We've talked about this here on this podcast. He does not dribble the ball.
Dribble the rock.
Yeah, it does not.
You know what I mean? So that's where he's just different.
That's why he's the back-to-back finals MVP, because when shit breaks down, you give him the ball and he can get you those mano-a-mano type buckets, you know what I mean, at the end of a game. I don't want to hear none of that. Yeah. And, I think KD is one of the corniest people on planet Earth. The more I hear him talk, the more he gets on Twitter and, goes at people or whatever. I just think he's like cornball deluxe. Yeah. But yeah. You can't sit here and not watch it and be like, yo, he's a 7-foot shooting guard that can do whatever he wants on the basketball court. They love having him there. He makes it that much easier. You have to guard him. Have to. Steph never seen more single teams in his life till KD came around.
Yeah. Same thing with KD as well, but yes.
Yeah, no, for both of them, it works just fine. It's great. Yeah. But KD, it's just he's the back-to-back finals MVP, y'all. Don't sit here and try to tell me that it's that easy without him. Finals MVP.
So is that a bad look for KD that they got a sweep without him?
No, because it was against the Portland Trailblazers.
100. That's exactly what I was going to say.
We just talked about
They're
it.
just head and shoulders better than them.
They're just a way better team.
That's
they were sweeping them.
There's nothing there for him not playing.
There's nothing. Don't stop. Again, it's a topic to make something out of something. Whatever. He's not playing right now. They're playing well. Guess what? They won 73 games without him. You know what I mean? This is a very good team. That's the thing. This team is – we know this. This team is very good. They have 4 fantastic players. 2 transcendent players. Clay. I mean, I don't.
Kill the
they got Andre Iguodala's a throw-in here. We got him too. You know what I mean?
Right.
So let's not get ahead of ourselves and talk about KD. They're better without KD, or KD does something to mess up their offense or whatever it is. He's Kevin Durant. You can put Kevin Durant into any system in the NBA right now. Any system. Pick a team. Drop him.
He doesn't even need a system. Just put
him on the court.
Put him on the floor.
So stop all this. I hate that.
Yeah, it's a time filler.
When I heard that,
it's silly.
Next
talk.
On First Take, the Warriors better without Kevin Durant. It's oh my god.
Yeah, it's silly talk. It really is. All right, 120-102. Raptors tie up the Eastern Conference Finals. This is the only thing on TV now. Says Golden State swept them up. It's a big win.
Huge. Couldn't go down 3-1. Not going back to Milwaukee.
I mean, the by 18 points is a big win.
Oh, yeah.
That's why it's a big win for me. If they won by a bucket, that's what I was saying the other day on the post I made for IGTV. Check those out. No KETCHUP Chicago. Game 3, they eked out in double overtime.
Yeah.
Giannis had 12 points.
Giannis is off.
People were going crazy left and right, and they were just winning. You know what I mean? So that was my thing. It was man, all this has to happen, and y'all got to go to double overtime in a must-win game at home.
Yeah.
And y'all are just eking the game out?
And literally Kawhi had to go nuts.
Yeah, that's a bad look.
Yeah.
Y'all about to get beat up the rest of the series. So for them to come back game 4 at home and win by 18 is big.
What did Kawhi have?
Kawhi Leonard had 19, and that makes it even bigger.
What did Pascal have? Who put in work on Toronto?
Lowry had 25.
Kyle Lowry's been balling in the playoffs.
Powell had 18.
Powell,
yep. Ibaka had 17 and 13 boards. 4 offensive boards. Van Vliet had 13.
Ibaka, the son of the Congo.
So, yes.
Van Vliet, Rockford's finest.
Van Vliet, Rockford's finest. Shout out Van Vliet. Shout out the boy Freddie.
Fred Van Vliet can hoop. I don't care what nobody says.
Shout out the boy
Fred Van Vliet, man. Come on the pod, man.
Nah, for real.
What did Giannis have?
Giannis, let's see.
Because he hasn't played well this series.
25 on 9 of 17. He had 25 and 10, 5 assists, 3 blocks. It's a pretty solid game. He's minus 19.
He averaged 29.
I only watched the
season,
first
I
half,
think.
so I didn't see how it went down in the second half.
Yeah.
But thoughts on that?
Toronto did what they had to do. I think this is a series where both teams have a clear home court advantage. Milwaukee is that stadium is cracking every single game. You already know the deal in Toronto. Like, they get very rowdy for their squad, so it doesn't surprise me that we're at 2-2. I wasn't ready to declare this series over. Like, after game one, remember the text message? Y'all were talking all this.
It's still over for me.
And I'm
but
like,
go
man,
ahead.
how quickly, people dismissed Kawhi Leonard. But I will say after game two, I was like, hey, I'm not feeling as good about this. But yeah, I mean, shit, this is an even series. I don't really know where to go.
It's Milwaukee is where to go.
Yeah, I guess.
They're the better team. And they have home court. We just talked about in game 3, they eked out the game.
Yeah.
So Lowry goes for 25. They get 17 plus from Powell Powell and Van Vliet both in double figures. They're not going to do those two dudes are never going to do that in Milwaukee. You know the old saying the role players
don't ever
the role players play better at home.
Always.
Milwaukee's going
But Kawhi only had 19.
Yeah. I mean, he had 19.
How many shots did he take?
He had 19. He only took 13 shots.
Yeah.
He had
He's chilling.
19 points, but Gasol had 17, Laurie had 25, Powell had 18, Ibaka had 17, and Van Vliet had 13. This is Ibaka's best game of the series by far.
In game one, Robin Lopez had fucking Brooke Lopez.
Yeah.
I don't even get my Lopez's
Yeah,
right.
don't disrespect Rolo like
I love both of them.
Yeah,
had
shout out
25 and hit 6 threes. So, I mean, they got a crazy performance from
Man,
him in
I
game
just
one.
said Powell had 18, Ibaka had 17, Van Vliet had 13,
Don't sleep on Powell,
and Lowry
dude.
had 25.
Don't sleep
Come
on
on.
Powell. What's wrong with Kyle Lowry getting 25 like he's a bum?
No, but the next time, the rest of the series, Powell, Ibaka, Van Vliet, and Lowry
What did
will
Ibaka
not
have?
be in double
What did
figures
Serge
again,
have?
the whole series.
Serge at 11?
Serge had 17.
Serge can mid-range you to death.
Powell, Ibaka, and Van Vliet were plus 29, plus 24, and plus 25. That's just never going to happen again. And Siakam had 7. I mean, almost the whole team is in double figures.
Siakam had 7.
I mean,
And Leonard had 19, and they still won the game.
Bro, they had.
If you told me that Siakam and Leonard have a combined 26 and they won the game, I'd tell you you're crazy.
That's what I'm saying. That's never going to happen in Milwaukee. Milwaukee's going to.
But they're not going to have a combined 26 again.
Milwaukee probably wins 2 straight. Close this joint up in 6.
I smell 7.
Just what the home to Milwaukee, Toronto back to
gotta-
Milwaukee.
Yeah. Smelling 7. Tell you, man, you got to go through customs to get up there, man.
You said going through
Hey,
customs.
hold up Giannis for a couple hours.
The Bucks, and part of me is rooting for the Bucks because that's the only team I think can give
Can
Golden
beat
State
Golden
a little
State.
bit of
Yeah, I
trouble.
don't think Toronto is going to have major issues with Golden State. Yeah. So this is the question I sent to your phone the other day that wasn't your phone anymore.
Yeah.
1 year, right? Rosters aside, you got 1 year. We'll figure out the rosters later. And I know that's important, but just whatever. Not long term. Kawhi or Giannis?
Giannis.
In 1 year?
Oh, for 1 year?
1 year. I'm not talking long term. Kawhi is younger.
And
I'm
know
sorry.
the rest
Giannis
of the
is younger.
roster?
Nope. You got to put together. You're putting together a roster, but you're starting with one player.
Flip a coin. I mean,
You can't.
it's tough because right now Kawhi's game is probably a little better all around than Giannis.
The shooting.
Essentially, Toronto the last couple games has just set up a brick wall and told Giannis to run through it and finish.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he's been kind of getting.
You think they're frustrated? You like their
Yeah.
game? You like Nurse's
Yeah.
game plan on them?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I do.
Yeah. Just crowd the paint like
just- I
crazy.
mean,
yeah. You know buckets for you.
It's tough. Yeah, no buckets
yeah,
for you.
no buckets for you.
It's tough because they have so much shooting.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, let's hope these dudes are missing.
Yeah.
And then we'll just bang into this dude and hope he misses layups at the rim.
But Giannis can't shoot, so he has no choice
Yeah,
but
he
to try
has
to
no
bail.
choice but to just go to the rim and try to lay it up.
Yeah.
So probably Kawhi, just because he has a more overall game, and this league is about guards and he can guard
anybody.
A guard.
Yeah.
And he's been guarding Giannis a lot of possessions.
Yeah.
So Kawhi by a little bit.
He's such a good defender.
But he's just so smart, long.
The claw.
Yeah.
He makes so many plays. He picks off the passing lanes. Like, dude is, yeah. Shout out Kawhi Leonard.
Well, what's your answer? Who are you taking?
Kawhi. The only reason I wouldn't is like, hey, if it's next year, like just the leaps that Giannis takes from year to year, like how much better will he be next year?
Walking the gym next year with
the 3, yeah. Yeah, exactly. So if it was like this season, I'm probably taking Kawhi because again, I think you can't really brick wall Kawhi like that, and you can't guard Giannis like that for 82. You know what I mean? You can't have. Eventually, he'll figure it out. But yeah, Kawhi's more dynamic right now.
I agree.
But
there's something about when Kawhi pulls up, I always think it's going in.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. When he pulls up that leaner forward jumper he's got, I'm like, that's cash.
Yeah.
Bro. And the net hardly ever moves. The only shot I could think of this playoffs that he bounced in was that game winner.
Yeah.
All his shit goes straight in.
Which was still crazy.
Ridiculous.
We're crazy. Yeah.
So all his shots go straight in. So yeah,
that game 7 is also another reason why I'm probably saying Kawhi. He was like, "Fuck it, we're not hitting anything. I'm going to shoot the ball 39 times, hit 39 attempts." He just
shows up.
Yeah, he shows up. So we're not. I'm going down swinging.
I wonder what goes through his head. Because in his head, I think he's Russell Westbrook, but he just doesn't say it.
Right. I'm gonna shoot. Yeah.
Like, in his head, I'm like, I'm taking over this motherfucker.
Taking over this
fuck
game.
All this bullshit.
Like Kyle, you're not doing shit.
Right. Kyle, you a
Pascal, you don't even want to be here tonight.
Yeah. Serge, you whack.
You're whack.
You're supposed to be getting bugged. That's what, like in his head. I honestly think he's saying all this, and then he's just like smirking around.
Finals MVP. What's that?
That's like how I really feel.
Yeah.
In his head, he's Russell Westbrook. Just talks a ton of he just hypes himself up.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go to the basket. I'm gonna shoot jumpers, and he just doesn't express it outward.
And it doesn't really say anything. Yeah.
Man, Kawhi's a monster.
The beast.
All right. So final answer is you got Milwaukee in 7. Wow, you think Kawhi can really do it?
Man.
You think? I'm not going, man.
I got Toronto in 7. I'm calling.
Wow. You got Toronto in 7. That means they'd have to win in Milwaukee game 7.
They would.
How do you see that? How? What? Kawhi scores 47?
Yeah. I mean, let me ask you something right now. If I told you that Kawhi scored 47 in a game 7 in Milwaukee, what would you say? Yeah, okay, makes sense.
Yeah, I would shrug my shoulders and be like, yeah, that's that guy.
What's that guy?
That's that man.
That's that. There goes that man again.
Yeah,
it's tough though. I mean, it's not like I don't want to eat my word. Like, I'm gonna go ahead and say it, man.
You
part of me saying it to say it. The other part of me is like, I it's like if I don't see it. It's not like crazy to me. I think Kawhi is the best player in the series right now. He's played the best in the series. He's the best player in the series. And Giannis, if they keep defending him like that, I don't know. I mean, you really have to rely on one of these other guys from Milwaukee to win the game. Whereas
Middleton went nuts today.
Middleton's
30.
He's a solid player, but he's not. He's Chris Middleton.
He's an all-star.
Yeah, he's good.
I've
been on the Chris Middleton bandwagon.
He hasn't been doing shit the last couple.
But he has not. Yeah, he has not. Yeah, exactly.
So it's interesting. It's an interesting series. Milwaukee's interesting. I think they have a real chance to give Golden State some problems.
Like that Kawhi Westbrook comp. He is Westbrook in his head.
He's Westbrook in his head.
He shot 39 shots in Game 7.
Isn't that funny?
Yeah.
I was thinking about that the other day.
You know what mentality you got to have to jack up 40 shots?
Is Westbrook in his head, but completely reserve on the outside.
And doesn't shoot 8% from 3-point.
Did you see him after the game the other day? And they're like, where do you go from here?
Toronto.
And he turned around and he scratched his head. He's like, we're going to go to Toronto.
We're going to go to Toronto.
Play game 3. And he's like, huh.
Yeah.
If anyone in the history of sports in a post-game press conference you were going to ask anyone that question, don't ask
Kawhi,
because that's
he's going to give you the exact answer. Toronto.
Oh, I got to fly back to Toronto for game 3, don't you think?
Yeah, where do you think I'm going?
Yeah, where do you think I'm going to go?
I'm not going to San Antonio.
I have to play game 3. Yeah. What kind of question is that?
Last I checked,
anyway.
it's still a series.
But, yeah.
Shout out, Kawhi.
While we're still on hoops, and before, let's get into the Chicago talk. I'm gonna just lay it out straight away. I haven't talked to you too much since the lottery and the draft, or the lottery and the draft coming up. I want to talk to you about this Lonzo Ball for the 7. Would you welcome Lonzo Ball with open arms? Is that a move that you would take seriously if it was on the table? Where are you at on that? Lonzo!
You know, I loved Zoe coming out, right?
Yeah.
I loved him.
Yeah.
I think he was thrown into a bad situation playing in his hometown. I think some of the shit going on around him obviously was affecting him.
He needs a fresh start, you saying?
Nobody needs a fresh start more than Lonzo Ball. I love certain parts of his game. A lot of his game, right? I think he's a great playmaker. I think he plays D. I think he plays hard. It's just that he shoots like 32% from the field. That's a problem for me.
It's not a problem for me on this roster. And if he shoots, or if the point guard we bring in is looking to score, that's taking away shots from Laurie because we know Zach's going to get his shots.
I was going to say, that's not who it's really, you got to take a shot. Zach LaVine.
No. We're not.
Has all his shots.
I don't care if Isaiah Thomas shows up.
Allen Iverson.
If Allen Iverson shows up, Zach LaVine is still getting his shots. If he has to go take the ball out of AI's hand, Zach LaVine is getting his shots. So I don't care who shows up to play the 1. Zach LaVine's not taking a one less shot than he already was.
18 field goals.
But Laurie will take a back seat and he will lose out on shots. So the thing for me for Lonzo coming to town is he's a pass first point guard. And that's what this team needs. Now, the other question is, how much would you give up? Would you give up the 7, something else? Would you give up the 7 done and take a bad contract? Is that too much? That's where it starts to get a little sus. You know what I mean?
Depends on how long term that bad contract is. I mean, I think when you originally posed this question is, would you trade for Lonzo or sign Malcolm Brogdon? And my big response was I think the Bulls need to start being careful with some of this cap stuff. Like, you took on some good money with Otto Porter.
Listen, the cap is gone.
Okay,
but forget about all that. We're gonna sign someone.
Yeah, I'd definitely move on from Dunn. You can't have Dunn and Lonzo. You just want to not shoot the ball at the point guard position?
I think
like, what do you mean?
The Ben Simmons treatment?
That 48 minutes of it, though. Like, literally, hey, we don't have to guard their point guards at all.
The backup, the starter.
The backup, no shots anywhere. No threat to hit a jumper at all. So I think you would have to move on from Dunn. Dunn's a backup point guard.
We're moving on from Dunn.
I think Dunn's a solid backup point guard because of his defense.
Yeah, I agree.
If you have an offensive point guard,
I said that
starts.
Well. Yeah,
you know what I mean? You can't have Dunn in there with another guy who can't shoot because it's just you can't have 48 minutes of non-shooting at the point guard position, right? So yeah, if you bring in Zoe, I don't know, man. I don't know because you also got to pay Zoe in 2 years.
If I texted you in the morning and was like, "Yo, Bull sent the 7 done and took on a trash contract for Lonzo," what would your initial thought be? Like let's hope it works out. We'll see.
Yeah, I mean, your best case scenario is D'Angelo Russell from the Lakers as well. Sent a guy out, sent him with a bad contract, and he turned into an all-star.
Yeah, but this is the thing. We need a guy that's going to come in and dish.
Yeah.
Like, give me Rondo, man. Bring my nigga back.
Yeah, Rondo.
Bring my boy Rondo back.
Rondo.
My dog, man. I would let
the elder
Rondo
statesman.
I would let Rondo play point guard for me.
My vets didn't call people out in the media. Remember that post? That Rondo post is still legendary.
Yeah, man.
Rondo versus Jimmy.
Bring Rondo back.
Yeah, shout out Rondo. I mean, I think, hey, look, that's your best. That's an awesome case scenario for Lonzo as he turns into Rondo. Right?
Yeah.
A guard that can do a lot of different things, is very unique, just cannot shoot. But Zoe could shoot in college. That's the crazy thing about how bad of a shooter he is in the NBA. Like, he was a decent shooter in college.
There was a lot of times where he wasn't even hitting the rim.
Yeah, but he's
hitting the backboard.
My man's is shooting literally like 37% from the field.
Yeah.
He's shooting like 18% from 3-point, but he's like literally like 37, 38% from the field. He's not hitting mid-range jumper. If it's not a layup, he's not even. It's not even worth.
Mid-range, long range.
You got to guard him in the paint. That's it. You know what I mean? Like, you play Zoe like
mid-range, long range, all that.
You guard him like Shaq.
It's a 0.
You know what I mean? Because I think he also shoots like 50% from free throw too. You know what I'm saying? My man is shooting like he's like a 37, 18, 50 split. Like he's on no side of being a good shooter at anything. Shaq, bro, you gotta guard him. If he gets 3 feet from the basket, he might be an issue.
Yo, that's funny.
Except for he's not 7 foot, 340 pounds.
You gotta guard Lonzo like Shaq.
100%.
I'm weak.
Not outside the paint, not a threat.
But if he could come in and run the O and get the ball down to Wendell on the block when necessary, get the ball out to Laurie on the wing and feed it and get Zach some easier jumpers, that could be fun, man. I mean, it is what it is.
It's about all it'll be. You know what, man? Let me dish on this real quick because I've been on this Bulls Twitter shit for a while now, following all these random accounts, and I'm just like, I get it. Some of these dudes are like promising, and like you see some flashes. Where is all this like, this young core is really good. Oh, like these guys, once they start developing, it's gonna be really like I just don't see that. Oh, the minutes that Zach and Laurie and Wendell were all there together were like the Bulls. There'll be a playoff team with those. Like, where are people seeing this from? Do we forget that you have to play defense in the NBA? This is one of the worst defensive teams in the league last year. Awful. I just don't see where people are getting all this from. It's easy to look at offensive stats and think that it's going to tell you some type of story, but that's not how it works in the NBA. And I think that people are forgetting that. Like, I don't see how, like, I don't know, man. I wish I could better explain this, but like it is so much optimism around this young core, and I'm just not there yet. So adding Lonzo to me is not like, oh yeah, man, that's gonna make us a huge leap.
You don't think they could go out and make the playoffs? I think they could do the Orlando Magic.
No, I think Orlando's a better team than us. I think Orlando has no.
We're gonna come out. It's going to be the full year under Boylen. They're going to really try to win games.
The fuck does a full year under Boylen mean? Oh, my God, bro.
But I'm saying, like...
You're seeing red, too.
No, but it's like... That's not what I meant, because I don't think Boylen should be the coach. Let's be clear.
Fucking clown.
So...
See, he had dinner with Jimmy Butler last night? You didn't see that picture? This is Jimmy Boylen and Jimmy Butler out to dinner last night or some shit. It might have been fake, though. I don't know.
Yeah, that sounds like some fake shit.
Yeah.
They're going to be really trying to win games. There's going to be clear direction that they're going to try to go out. They're going to add one more piece with about $20 million we have in cap space. They're going to try to push to get the eighth seed. This is our worst nightmare. This is the same thing that we've been talking about forever. We legit blew 2 max plus slots. All the original tank slot where we could have had 25% to the number 1 pick, and the draft was fucking loaded. And we blew it. We blew it all, bro. We blew it. It's over with. We are in the exact spot we feared we were going to be. We're going to be a mediocre basketball team for the next 3, 4, 5 years. There's nothing else to it.
I would be surprised if we're mediocre because, again, if we also cannot absorb any type of injury to any good player. I mean, a lot of teams can't, but like all these guys play 82 games, maybe we're the 8th seed. I can't see any one of these players missing. These players who all have missed significant time. Zach LaVine isn't known for his health. Lauri Markkanen missed a good chunk of the season. Wendell Carter got hurt. Otto Porter got hurt. I mean, so like again, this optimism of if they all play, it's just like this is not a core that's going to compete. And maybe I'm just down on them right now. But I'm looking around the rest of the league, watching these playoffs to show me one thing. We are not close. No, sir. We are not close. We are not. Zach LaVine, don't tell me that man leads you to the playoffs as your leading scorer. That's just not how it works. I think Laurie's a great.
I agree with you.
Laurie's a solid piece. Wendell Carter Jr. is a solid piece. Everybody else can go.
I could push us. I could see us pushing for the 8, man.
Great.
I mean, yeah, it's a nightmare, but
so
I could
fucking get rammed by Giannis every year.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, Giannis can drive an hour to come fucking smash up on the Bulls.
I can see it.
And then go home the same night. You don't got to stay at the hotel.
The young core plus Otto. Yeah, I mean, it is what it is, man. This is I'm telling you.
Young core plus Otto, yeah. It's just this.
It's a nightmare, bro. We know. We already know what time it is.
Blow it up.
Get the front office out.
Trading everybody.
We've been said that.
Yeah, I'm trading everybody. You can keep marketing.
Trade them all.
Trade them all.
Trade them all.
Trade them all, baby.
Trade them all.
This ain't it. If I get in there day one, I'm blowing it up. I'm blowing it up,
this
baby.
This ain't the answer, baby.
I'm
Get
taking
them out of
flyers
here.
on anybody. Who do you want? Everybody's for the taking. You want a fucking 7-foot shooter from Finland? I got that. You know what I mean? You want a light-skinned gunner? Got that for you.
We got that.
We got that. Got that all for you. You can have them all. Except for Rolo.
Yeah, I'm keeping Rolo, bro. Rolo put in his shit.
Playing 48.
It's my dog.
Yeah.
All right, let's move off these Bulls.
Please.
And let's talk about Yu Darvish versus Jake Arrieta. First time back at Wrigley since he left the Cubs. Mm-hmm. Don't forget now, Jake Arrieta, Cy Young winner. Couple no-hitters. Won a World Series. Got a huge standing ovation at the plate when he came. They gave him a couple extra seconds. He took a step back, kind of, took it all in. And we're not going to break down the game because everyone saw what happened. We lost. But how do you feel about Arrieta and just how much love guys maybe that shouldn't be getting that much love are getting when they come back home? And then that's going to lead us into this segment about
way too much love.
It's too much love?
Jake Arrieta for like 2 seasons.
This is a Sox fan, by the way. Don't get it twisted, by the way.
It's fine. For 2 seasons was like an outstanding pitcher for the Cubs, right? He had like a 2-year run that was like epic. And he did a lot of good things. He was part of the World Series team. He was almost like for a while the symbol of like the ascension of the Cubs because it's like, hey, Arrieta's coming out of nowhere. Like this thing's coming together faster than we thought, right?
Yeah.
That's great. He did great things, right? The Cubs wanted zero part of paying him when it was time to pay him because he had been on the downslide after that. And then all of a sudden he comes
very mediocre,
like extremely mediocre pitcher his last year in Chicago,
and definitely not worth the 5+ years or whatever he's.
Not at all, right? Yeah. So again, he had a 2-year run, and really in particular, like the end of that 1 year that bled into that next year, he was unreal.
He had the Cy Young year that bled into the next year,
and then tailed off at the second half of the season, like majorly, right? Great player, man. Good player. I don't understand why he's getting standing ovations. It's not like he was in a Cubs uniform for 10 to 12 years and was old reliable or something like that. I mean, like, this is not a standing ovation type player. He was good. He was solid. Great. Like, I don't see what Jake Arrieta has done to get a standing ovation at Wrigley Field.
He won a Cy Young. They won the World Series.
They happened separate years.
Yeah, but he won a Cy Young.
Cool, great.
He's a great
Esteban Loaiza almost won a Cy Young 1 year.
You talking about the Coke man?
Yeah, that's what he did. Hey, Esteban, shout out Esteban. He's not getting a stand ovation anywhere anytime soon. They got Esteban hard. That's right.
I forgot he won the Cy.
I don't know if he won the Cy or if I think he was like second. He won 21 games 1 year.
I don't think he won the Cy.
I think he was second place in the Cy.
I think that's what it was.
Shout out Esteban moving that yayo.
Esteban Loaiza, go look up the story if you don't know. Esteban Loaiza was moving that work.
That work.
Tony Yayo, he was the man.
He was the man out there. Like they knew that's Esteban.
Yeah.
Shout out Esteban Loaiza. But
made millions.
I just
tens of millions.
Tens of millions.
Started moving weight.
Rush, get the yayo. But yeah, Esteban Loaiza. Jake Arrieta, I just don't see why he gets a stand ovation. I'm not trying to be a hater, but I just, this shit is
our boy,
whatever.
Sports and Shoes TV.
Oh, my man.
Shout out our boy.
Hell yeah. What does he got?
He said I think it's just because he helped bring a ring here.
Hey,
he was a big part of that ring squad. So
first off,
is that warranted?
First off, he came with blasphemy the other day on the Michael Jordan's a push off comment. I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah, no, I did pick that up.
Gee.
Yeah, that sports. Shout out Sports and Shoes TV for always rocking with us.
Always, yeah.
But he said Michael Jordan pushed Byron Russell, and that shit
never
can
happened.
never be supported.
Never happened.
That he didn't even touch Byron
I didn't
Russell.
see anything of the sort. Was Byron Russell even in the game? Nah, yeah. Shout out Sports and Shoes though.
That was a wide open
for sure.
jumper last time I looked.
He won a ring, man. He was a really good player. I just don't see that he's worth like a break in the game for an ovation.
That was like a Sammy Sosa type ovation. That was like an ovation that Sammy would get if he came back.
We want to love everybody too much nowadays. I heard someone the other day say Andre Iguodala is going to the Hall of Fame, and I almost fell out of my chair. You know what I mean? Like, yo, chill.
Yeah,
like,
relax,
you know,
relax.
Good player. Andrew Iguodala is not going to anybody's Hall of Fame. Like, chill. So, I mean, like, Arrieta, yeah, good player, but we don't need to break in the game. Give him a clap. Stand, hey, tip a little hat. He gives a little hat tip and let's carry on with the game. He doesn't need to step away from the batter's box.
Yeah, I agree.
It's not that serious.
I like Arrieta, but yeah, people are getting too much love. Mediocre dudes.
A lot of love
is what I mean. And there was a stretch where he was great and the best in the league, but like you said, he wasn't a 12-year guy.
Yeah,
that type of stuff.
He's not like an immortal.
It wasn't like a Mark Grace.
Yeah,
something like that.
When you think of that World Series, how many players do you think of before you think of Jake? Excuse me, Jake Arrieta.
That's actually a good point.
If I'm thinking of pitchers, I'm thinking of Lester way before I'm thinking of Arrieta. I'm thinking of Lackey before I'm thinking of Arrieta.
I'm probably low key. If you told me to like rip off the pitching staff of that 2016 squad, Chapman's before him, just because of how big an impact he made. But yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, I mean, like you go through a lot of players before you get to Arrieta. You know what I mean? So
yeah, Hendricks, Kyle Hendricks is coming up.
Lackey, Lester, Lester gets standing ovation. I mean, he's gonna finish his career in a Cubs uniform, but if he were to come back, like that's a standing ovation type guy. He is like the symbol of the rebuild. You know what I mean? Like as far as like the veteran, armed, old, reliable, first guy to sign,
first guy to get the bread.
There when you need him. Like I mean, John Lester is that, but I don't get that from. He wasn't even the ace. Arrieta, Lester was.
Facts.
And Michael Jordan not push off.
Absolutely not. But this is the second part of the question, right? So Arrieta gets a big ovation. Who were some Chicago players that became ex-players that you still rooted for them crazy and still love them to this day? Like, regardless of what uniform they had on, you were still rooting for them. That was my guy.
I think you had G-Rag on your list, Greg Olson always.
Yeah, I had Greg Olson on my list.
Joe Kim is an automatic.
Yeah, Joe Kim, automatic.
D-Rose is an automatic.
Automatic.
Nate Robinson, if he ever would come back in the league. I don't care if Nate Robinson went to play arena football, automatic.
You rocking with Nate like that?
I love Nate. The Nate, first off, the
you
Nate
said,
year.
You said Nate get a standing ovation.
Nate year, Nate gets a standing ovation, yes. Nate Robinson 100% gets a standing ovation, a break in the game. The Nate Robinson year when he did his best D-Rose imitation.
He went nuts for
all heart.
He should be in the league now.
100%. All heart. All heart. Nate Robinson gets the ovation from me. Who else?
I got a couple. I got Peanut Tillman written down.
Yeah, Peanut for sure. Of course.
Something about Alfonso Soriano. I was sad to see my man's
spirit.
Go. His spirit. I know he didn't live up to that contract, and
8 years.
It ended up being a failure. But I always had love for Fonzo for whatever reason.
They said he was willing to sign a 6-year deal, and Jim Hendry insisted it was an 8-year contract.
Yeah. Listen to this,
Fonzo.
Because then I started thinking when I started about Greg Olson, I was thinking about some of the Bears, and then I was listening to the radio, and I heard a couple names come up. Then I was on. The Bears had like their Met Gala or the Bears Gala or something the other night. And I was thinking about running backs. I thought about Cedric Benson. And when I thought about Cedric Benson, do you know what I'm about to talk about?
I've never hated anybody more.
No, but do you know?
Oh, Thomas Jones
Thomas
is my favorite.
Jones,
so
bro.
I want to go ahead. The Bears did him dirty for Cedric Benson. Remember?
That's what I mean.
He did nothing but produce.
Thomas Jones was like $1,200 a year for 3 years.
Zero
straight.
flash.
Let me look up Thomas Jones's numbers.
Zero flash. Yeah, I think he was a 1,000-yard rusher for like 3 or 4 years straight. Caught the ball out the backfield. Brought his lunch pail to work every single day. Remember, Thomas Jones was like a little short, like bowling ball type dude. Yeah. I love Thomas Jones, man. I felt like we drafted Cedric Benson for no reason when we had a very good running back in Thomas Jones. And Cedric, what did Cedric Benson do? He fucking fumbled in the Super Bowl. That's what he did. Clown. I hate Cedric Benson, man.
Can you pull this up? Just click over.
Yeah, go to those Bears numbers. Solid.
Perfect. There you go.
Consistent.
Okay. This is Thomas. These are Thomas Jones's numbers for the Bears. 04, 05, 06. He went for 900, 947, 7 tutties. Then he went 1,300, 1,200, 1,100. Or no, hold on. He went 948, then 1,300 for the Bears, then 1,200. Then he went to the Jets and rattled off 1,100, 1,300, and 1,400.
He still put numbers.
In 2009 for the Jets, at 31 years old, Thomas Jones had 331 carries, 1,400 yards, 14 touchdowns.
Yeah, numbers. The Bears literally got rid of him when he was still good.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 straight 1,100-plus yard seasons.
Come on, stop playing.
That's back when they used to tote the rock.
Yeah, 331 carries, yeah. That was workhorse. I remember we drafted Benson. And we replaced him.
You can switch it back over.
We replaced Benson Jones with Benson, and I always hated that move. I hated that move. I loved Thomas Jones.
10,600 yard rushing for Thomas Jones.
Yeah, 11.
What do you think Cedric Benson's total numbers were
in his career?
Yeah.
Did he ever even play anywhere after the Bears?
He went to Cincy and was balling.
Did he? Oh yeah, he did go. He did go there. Yeah,
Cedric went to Cincy and was balling.
Yeah, he was trash. I know that he had a number where he fumbled the ball in the Bears Super Bowl. That's the only number I care about with Cedric Benson. He's trash.
Cedric, people hated
fumbled,
him.
Bro.
People hated him. Ew, yuck. 6,000 yards.
What was his best year?
In 09 for Cincy, 301 carries, 1,250 yards.
The same year that Thomas Jones rushed for 1,400.
Yeah, exactly.
That's crazy.
That was in Cincinnati, though.
Yeah.
For the Bears, he never had more than 600. Never had a 700-yard rushing season for us. That's back when people used to feed running backs to rock.
Like literally, and that was his thing. He was like the 5th pick in the draft. Who else? My man, Devin Hester.
Oh.
Yeah. Big love for Devin Hester in the Falcons jersey.
Yeah, that was one of the dudes where you legit just wanted him to do. You know what, too, though? I'm not even. Can I be 100% honest on the pod?
Yeah.
Can I keep it 1,000?
That's why it's here.
I had a little bit of dislike for Devin because he never could grasp being a wide receiver.
Wasn't what he did.
I know, but it just seemed like he could have. But yeah, you're right.
He was a DB in college.
You're right.
I think it was almost kind of naive to also be like, hey, yeah, he's fast and he's shifty. We can make an NFL wide receiver. Yeah. Like, you gotta have NFL wide receivers have to have a route tree.
You got guys like Edelman and all these other motherfuckers. Yeah, but I know Edelman came in down the road.
Yeah, this is down the road. You figure out how to use those guys a little bit more. Not your Kareem Hunt, sorry, like your Tyreek Hill type player. Like, yeah, you figure out how to use those guys. The league has
evolved, and I get that. Yeah. But I had a little. I'm not gonna flex. This is the first time I've ever said this out loud. Actually, I had a little bit of disdain for Devin because he just. And it just seemed like a lot of it was just not wanting to get it. Like, he never lined up right. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
He would just break the huddle, and people would have to, like, walk him to the spot.
And he couldn't run a route.
Yeah, it was bad. So I had a little disdain for that. So I can't even.
I read something. I don't even want to try to quote it, but he was pretty much talking about how happier he was when they told him you're not a wide receiver anymore because he could go back to, like, at practice, literally all he would do.
It's just catch it out the jug machine.
She catch it out the jug machine, yeah.
Catch and punt.
Yeah, that's all I did. They go run offense and be in meetings. I didn't have to go to those. Like, he's like, I hated all that.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Like, see, like he didn't want. I
want zero part of that.
He didn't want none of that. Yeah. He didn't want nothing to do with that.
Why would he? He was getting paid to not do that.
Yeah, facts. But he could have been just.
How do we know he could have been, man?
Yeah,
Naturally,
I guess
he wasn't even a natural offensive player. Again, he was a DB in college.
Yeah, no hands.
No hands. Like,
No
yeah, he
route
was just a great
ability,
athlete.
just
And
shifty.
look, man, let's appreciate him for what he, again, here we go with like,
Yeah.
appreciate what people were. He was the best return man in the history of the NFL. Facts. Game over. That's
Is
it.
he a Hall of Famer? Speaking of Hall
Yes.
of Fame. Yeah.
Yes.
I think, you know what?
You have to make people that are yes.
He's a special talent.
He was the best at that at a position in the NFL. It's like saying, oh, a kicker can't be. I mean, like, yeah, that made a difference.
He made a huge difference.
Huge difference.
Do you remember I felt like that year we started with the ball in the 45 every possession.
Yeah. Let's stop kicking it to him.
Every possession we had the ball in the 40. And Rex still couldn't do shit with it.
I don't want to go down memory lane, and I don't want to talk about this game ever, but when he took the opening kickoff in the Super Bowl for a touchdown, is still one of the best Super Bowl moments ever.
You said moments, not for you, just moments.
Moments
in Super Bowl history.
Yeah, because of who it was, because of how it was set up, the call. Like, yeah.
That season he had what, like 6?
Yeah, everybody knew that. They even said, I think as they were blaming him, don't kick it to him, and they fucking kicked it right to him. Why would he?
Have you heard Dungy talk about that?
No. What did he say?
He was going back and forth about what to do.
Yeah.
Do I kick it out of bounds and give him the ball at the 40? Because I think Vanderjack was their guy. I don't know.
Yeah.
Don't quote me on that. It might have been Vinatieri. I don't know.
I
But
think Vanderjack was gone. Vanderjack didn't win a Super Bowl
yeah,
with them.
but at this point the ball was still moved back a little bit, so you just couldn't kick it out of bounds all day.
Yeah.
And something happened. Look up the story. I'll send it to you. I'll look it up. I'll find it for you. Something happened with Dungy right before the kickoff, and they were like, kick it deep. He was gonna squib it, I think. And someone said something to him about something, and he was like, all right, fuck it, like just kick it deep. And then he saw what happened, and he was like, that was the dumbest shit I've ever done.
That was the dumbest thing I've ever done.
Yeah, I'm gonna look up the story, and I'll send it to you.
All right.
But how do you feel about Mirotic hooping?
I don't feel any ill will towards him.
No, not ill will, but like maybe we could have kept him.
No.
No.
What are you getting out of keeping Nico Mirotic?
He's playing well.
Nah, stop. Oh, keep these guys for what?
I mean,
we
were rebuilding. I get it.
Yeah, you got a first round pick out of Mirotic, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. Anytime. I don't care if it's the 30th pick in the draft. Yeah, anytime you can. You weren't going to pay him.
Do you remember?
Well, you paid him, but you weren't. They had that option here. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you remember the hype before he came over?
Yeah.
Man, we thought we had Cody. We thought we had new coach, bro.
You know, but like to the earlier point, and this is another what if Derrick Rose was healthy, that might have been a nice addition because he wouldn't have been expected to do as much.
Yeah.
When the time he did come over, it was like, yo, we need a savior. Oh, Nico Mirotic is
yeah,
coming over.
That's actually a good point.
Yeah. So I mean, I think he maybe would have been able to come in and just be a good player off the bench or whatever. But at that point, it was like, oh man, we need to replace some offense, and here you go. And he got hot. He had his hot streaks. No one could put together a better month than Nico.
Yeah, that's facts.
February was it February? Yeah, February was Nico's month, like every year.
Crazy. We won like 10 games in a row.
Yeah, he was averaging like 25.
Yeah. So wait, any key player that left and you were sad to see him go and wanted him to do really well outside of Nate? Nate, you're gonna go with Nate. Greg Olson, obviously. Joe Kim. I'm rooting for Joe Kim.
Joe Kim all day.
Peanut. I was rooting for Peanut while he was in Carolina and stuff after us.
I mean, D Rose is the biggest, obviously.
I'm trying to think of any others.
There's no one I want to do well more than Derrick Rose. That's it. Like when it looked like he was going to win 6-man maybe this year or whatever, or even be an all-star.
When he scored 50.
Yeah, like when he scored 50, that moment, like, I'll bust my ass for this, man. Like that was like.
Just raw.
It was just raw. Yeah, like he was like, yeah, that was real to me. So like, yeah, I wanted to be Derrick Rose, man.
What about when like Mags Ordonez left?
Nah.
Frank Thomas?
I love the big hurt, but no.
Nah, you just like whatever?
No. Maybe Juan Uribe. Oh,
there you go.
Hands down, baby. And he was an impact player, bro.
That's a good one.
Juan Uribe.
Facts.
Where's I don't even have the we don't have that poster here, but I got a Juan Uribe. I love Juan Uribe, man. He's one of my favorite White Sox player of all time.
Juan Uribe
swung for the fences every time.
And I don't know this for fact, but I can promise you that Juan Uribe wore like those brown open-toe sandals, tucked his shirt in with his pot belly like some island. Where's Uribe from?
I think he's Dominican.
Yeah,
or
100%.
Like that.
This is him for sure.
Yeah.
He tucked in like a yellow shirt.
Yeah.
His belt hanging out. Like, he just kicked it, bro.
He won 2 World Series on the Giants and was a big time player in those playoffs runs. Had like huge playoff runs.
Huge dips in.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uribe is the man.
The man swung at everything.
Yeah, he swung hard.
Hard, bro. Like throw his back out type fucking like a drive. Yeah, like he was going hard.
Yeah. Okay.
Juan Uribe. Love him.
Go. Juan Uribe is a
I
good
need a
one.
Juan Uribe White Sox jersey.
I'm trying to think of any others that when they left.
It's got to be somebody like that, like a player that's not like
a player that's mediocre, but he's just awesome.
First off, don't ever call Juan Uribe mediocre.
But
I'm bullshitting. Yeah.
Yeah, Uribe's elite.
Elite.
I'm trying to think of anybody else on the Cubs. I feel like we're missing a big one that we could both agree on.
Does Zambrano ever go anywhere after the Cubs?
Oh, he definitely had to.
Yeah, I think he did go somewhere else and he imploded.
And I rooted for him for sure.
Talk about it. Yeah, that's a dude who actually, his anger and all that shit really did get the best of him. He couldn't. Carlos Zambrano.
Oh, my God. He was awesome. But, yes, his temper was something like I'd never seen.
Yeah, yeah. He had.
Did I ever tell you that Zambrano story about me dropping his home run?
No.
Oh, bro. I was in the bleachers.
Oh, yeah, and he could swing.
Yeah, and he could hit, bro.
Yeah.
I was in the bleachers. This is a real story, true story, no bullshit. I was in the bleachers at Wrigley. I was sitting in left field, and Zambrano was up. And I was like, and this is at that year. I think he had like 5 home runs or something crazy. And I was like, if Carlos, like, what if Carlos hits a home run? I don't know, like 5 pitches later, he rips one, and it's coming right at me, bro.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, shit. And I don't know about you, I've never caught a foul ball. Actually, I got one foul ball.
I caught a foul ball.
I got a foul ball, but I've never caught a home run or even been really close.
Yeah, I've never caught a home run.
Besides this time. Ball's coming right at me. I have a beer in my left hand. And as it gets closer, it's going to land like 2 or 3 rows in front of me. Maybe not 2 or 3 rows, but it's going to land in front of me. I like put my arm on the dude's back in front of me, lean forward. It hit me square in the palm, bro, right in the middle.
Drop.
And it hit so hard that it hit my palm, hit the ground, and then like everybody jumped Oh, dude, I was sick. I was sure I was gonna catch that. Cause you know what? The other thing too is you talk shit like, man, if I ever get a ball in my vicinity, you know I'm catching this shit.
Yeah, no, when it happens,
like when it happened, shit was going so hectic, like it was crazy.
Yeah,
but not really, man. He was with us from 01 to 2011.
Yeah, he was here for a long ass time. Where'd he go after the Cubs? It was like the Rockies.
Miami.
Miami. Oh yeah.
He played in Miami for 1 season, and that was it.
He
started 20 games though.
Was that the year that Ozzy was in Miami?
Maybe.
Ozzy lasted.
What do you think Zambrano's highest win year was? Like how many wins was
17 or 18. It was low.
Yeah, 18.
Yeah, I know he never won 20 games, but he had some crazy ass ERAs, didn't he?
No, it was about the same, bro. 3.25, 3.5. That was about his whole way. His career is 3.66.
He was nuts.
Zambrano.
He wasn't
awesome.
Milton Bradley level, but he was
Milton
Bradley didn't give a fuck.
Yo, no, wait. Who's more volatile, Milton Bradley or Carlos Zambrano?
Milton Bradley.
You think?
Yeah, Milton Bradley. They signed him for 3 years, $30 million. You think he lasted like 6 weeks?
He lasted like legit, like a quarter of the season.
Like, yo, get this guy the fuck out of here.
Get this
dude is on some other shit.
Yeah, get this guy out of here.
Yeah.
Milton Bradley, bigger head case than Carlos Zambrano. All right, I'll give you that.
Milton Bradley.
Trying to think if there's any other. Obviously, Maddox leaving was trash.
Yeah,
but that was a money thing, and I mean those hurt because he had no reason to leave. He could have stayed.
What about Pryor?
I don't even remember Pryor outside of.
He went to San Diego or some shit.
Yeah,
like
he did
that.
go to San Diego. No, I wasn't a huge Pryor dude.
Kerry Wood.
Pryor's a juicer. No facts, but I think so. I think he was a juicer. Kerry Wood, wasn't he a Cub for life too? He went to New York. He went to the Yankees for a little second. Yeah. It's the guys that leave and then make an impact somewhere else. Where you're like, damn, I wish he was still on the team.
I wish he was still on the team.
You know what I mean? Like when those, the guys we're talking about, when they left, it was like we got their best years.
Right.
So, yeah, man. I thought that was an interesting topic. KD back for the finals before we get out of here? He's got to be, right? He's just chilling.
Yeah, I think he's,
He just posted up.
I don't know, man. It's real quiet on the KD front, though, as far as, like, actual injury news.
It's quiet because they're sweeping up.
Yeah.
Boys. They have 10 days off.
But usually when you're like, oh, KD's, he's back up shooting, and, yeah.
Wait. Our guy Sports and Shoes TV said he played for the Chicago Dogs now. Is that like a minor league?
Who does?
Zambrano. What's the Chicago Dogs? If you could tell us that.
Yeah, what's the Zambrano plays for the Chicago Dogs.
Zambrano plays for the Chicago Dogs. Independent professional baseball team.
Look at that roster.
No way,
Don't
bro.
tell me Carlos Zambrano's on their roster. We're going.
Yo, wait, babe, pull this up. Switch it over. All right, hold on. This is the Chicago Dogs. Where do these dudes play? Hold on. Oh, Zambrano! Yo, that's great. 6'5", 270.
Yo, where do they play? Let's go to a game.
Yo, look at this roster. Who are these dudes? Gustavo Pierre? Edwin Arroyo.
Wait. Where's Gustavo Pierre from?
Gustavo, he's
well, says that Juan Pierre's brother?
Edwin Arroyo sounds like he was in the league.
Or you're just mixing them up with like the 16,000 other Arroyos that were in there. Yeah. I thought that Pierre dude is that one.
Active roster. Can we get some stats on this shit? Wait, what are the Chicago Dogs?
Yeah, where do they play? It's just tell you on the Wikipedia.
Impact Field.
Where the fuck is that?
Hold on, I'm gonna bring up switch this back over, babe. I'm gonna pull up the Chicago Dogs. This is the Wikipedia page. The Chicago Dogs are an independent professional baseball team based in Rosemont.
Of course.
They began playing the American Association in 2018.
Shout out Rosemont.
Team plays home games at the 6,300-seat Impact Field. The team's branding to the Chicago-style hot dog, a local street food. Zambrano joined the roster this year. He pitched in the major leagues for 12 years, mostly as a member of the Cubs. Butch Hobson. Wait, bro. We got to go to Zambrano's first start, bro. Yo, that's amazing.
I think we found our sponsor, Chicago Dogs.
No way.
We got to reach out to somebody over. Hey, if you know anybody at Chicago Dogs ticket office, tell them to holler at us for real.
That's hilarious.
Yo, I'm down to go to that. When does this start?
Yo, I'm super down. Let's do it.
All right, Chicago Dogs live.
The Chicago Dogs live.
We're coming live from the Dogs game.
Oh, man, that's great. All right, we're going to close it there. Appreciate everybody hopping on the live stream, jumping in the chat, man. That shit's been great. Big Nick the Quick was back. Always a pleasure.
Yep.
For Big Nick the Quick, I'm your host, Sean Little. No Ketchup, Sports Talk via Chicago. Lock in with us.
Yes, sir.